Hi guys, I'm Jane from Sustain My Craft Habit, and today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different from our usual DIY or craft tutorial video. Today I want to show you something that I discovered and find really fun to watch, and that is resin demolding. Welcome back to our channel. Over the past 2-3 years, we've really started to use resin for some of our crafting projects. If you are new to resin or have never heard about it, don't worry. I think you'll still really enjoy this video today, and it may just inspire you to pick up this new art and this new craft idea. But basically, resin is typically a two-part polymer that you mix together to create all sorts of projects. So we've used it to make keychains. You typically see it a lot in jewelry making. It has commercial applications, so whenever you go to a bar or a pub and you see those really shiny bar tops and surfaces, typically that's done with varathane or resin. So this is the pour-on version. We've partnered a lot with ETI USA and their Envirotex Light products. So they have a pour-on, they have this easy cast, which is great for casting items in the resin, and then as well as the jewelry resin. So here on Sustain My Craft Habit on our YouTube channel, we have a couple of resin crafting videos that I'll be sure to link, but you can also find a lot more on our blog. And again, all of these projects that I'm going to be showing you the demolding of have photo tutorials for them at sustainmycrafthabit.com, so you can find them there if you're interested in seeing how to actually make them. I'm not going to take you through that process, but really where I discovered this resin demolding was on Instagram. So about 1.5 years ago, I don't know, just by random, I came across this idea, and so I challenge you to go, if you have a bit of time, and type in hashtag resin demolding and look for the videos, and it's really satisfying. I don't like using that term, but it is. It's so satisfying, which is really the most fun part of the resin project, when you actually take your final pieces after they've cured out of the molds. And so molds, I have a few examples of them here. They can range from more rigid style molds. So this one has different shaped compartments that you can use to make your projects with, but it's really a stiffer mold. But my favorite to use for projects like this are these silicone molds. So you can actually pick them up in your local craft store or online, and even using ones that you find in the baking section, like for molding fondant. They have really cute different molds. So I've collected different ones over the years. This was a whole set I purchased on Amazon for like $20, and it came with a number of different molds. And the key to look out for with your molds is that they have a nice shiny surface inside of them. So this one here, although it is a silicone mold, the surface inside is not so smooth. So what ends up happening is that the piece still looks beautiful, but it comes out with a little bit of a frosted kind of effect. And if that's what you want, then these types of molds are perfect for that. But if you want a really nice shiny finish, like you'll see in some of the projects we'll demold now, you really want to make sure that either to search for a mold that's specifically made for resin crafting, or ones that have a really nice shiny, smooth texture surface inside. Just before we get to those projects and the demolding of 8 different videos, so I have a few examples here. You'll see this really pretty flower that was done with mixing resin and pouring them into a mold that I found again in the baking section at Michael's. And then I made some leaf keychains. You'll see the demolding of that, as well as some other things. And then at the end of the video, I want to ask you what to do with some of the pieces that I recently made, because I don't like to throw away any of the resin, so I always have kind of a second mold on the side for any excess resin. And so I made a bunch of something, and I want you to tell me what I should use them for. So let's get started with the actual resin demolding videos. So first up are these adorable glittering cupcake keychains I made with that cupcake silicone mold I showed you. This project actually took two different types of resin, both the easy cast and the fast cast resin, but it made a really pretty project at the end and showed really how unique each and every resin piece is. I didn't know what to expect until I finally pulled it out of the mold. The next project are these pretty pendants using pressed flowers. These are spring flowers like pansies and little bits of fern that I pressed in a book for a few weeks and then used the Envirotex Light jewelry resin and my shiny silicone mold to make these pretty pendants that are really perfect for year-round. I ended up gifting most of these to my co-workers at Christmas. These floral cupcake toppers, I was so excited to pull out of the mold because I really had no idea how they would turn out. You pour everything kind of from the top down, and so until the project cures and you actually pop it out of the mold, it really is a mystery about how they're going to look. But I was so happy with how everything kind of positioned itself and then blended together, and I think these pieces are truly unique and one of a kind. Wouldn't they make fabulous party favors for a baby shower or a wedding shower? Next up are these pretty resin stitch markers that are great for anyone who loves to crochet or knit. And I actually made this when I had a bit of leftover resin from a different project. And so I poured it into this pretty little silicone mold that I had and then just sprinkled some glitter on the backside. The intricacy of the mold itself made it really interesting to see how the pieces would look when they came out of the mold. I actually now use this mold quite a bit for my leftover resin, and I made a bunch of these little flowers using the fast cast resin when I made the acorn napkin rings, which I'll show you next. I didn't talk about this earlier, but you can actually make your own molds for resin projects. And that's what I did here with these acorn napkin rings. I must say this was a bit of probably one of the more challenging projects I've done, just to make the mold from the acorns. And you can find that tutorial on the blog. But really in the end, it turned out quite nice and interesting. And so you can see here popping out this particular napkin ring. This was the first one that came out of the mold, and I really had no idea how it was going to look. But I was really happy with the end result and went on to make 5 more napkin rings to have a set of 6 for my Thanksgiving tablescape. These little alphabet charms were inspired when my daughter picked up some nail embellishment kits at a local thrift store, and it came with all sorts of different little beads and textures and glitter. And so I thought to put them to work to make these little charms. I actually envisioned them first as personalized zipper pulls for their backpacks for back to school, which they really did love. But in the end, I also made for myself for my day planner. These fall-inspired leaves turned out truly better than I thought that they would. So I used the Easy Cast resin and tinted it with acrylic paints, with the orange, red, and yellow and green acrylic paints, and then combined them together into the molds. Again, not really knowing how they would look when I pulled them out. But I was really happy with the end result. I don't think they could have turned out any better. And I did have a little bit of leftover orange resin, so again, I just poured it into this mold I had on the side to make these extra little pendants. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed those resin demolding videos as much as I enjoy watching them. So what I wanted to know is what I should make with these little guys. These pieces you saw also demolded using fast cast, which is a different type of resin I didn't show you, but it made these really pretty little flowers, and I have maybe about 20 of them. So what would you make with them? They're really cute. I have a few ideas, but I'd love to know what you think. Okay, so if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Let us know if you'd like to see more resin demolding so that I'll be sure to record it as I make projects. And if you have any questions about the resin crafting process, let me know in the comments below. For more nature-inspired DIY craft and home decor ideas, be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you again next week. Bye!